I am about to launch a nuke on the entire Smash roster. We're all conveniently hanging out in one place with no others in range of the blast. And when this timer runs out, the bomb will explode. You may be wondering why I'm doing this. A nuclear bomb can contain between 10 and 50 million tons of TNT. Severe thermal damage could extend over a mile, with debris going a few miles and the shockwave damage going about half a mile. Any radiation within a mile of that blast could be a lethal dose. So let's be honest with ourselves. I don't realistically think that any of the characters on this roster could survive a direct hit from a nuke. Oh, you think Kirby's gonna swallow the nuke? Just from the impact of this thing hitting his mouth, the radiation could kill him. His bones would be completely fried. Does Kirby have bones? Well, his skin and whatever else he's got going on in there. I've come up with a solution for this experiment. You see, I've created a nuclear bunker right close by to all of them. But there's one problem. It has a maximum capacity of only 20 people, meaning only about a quarter of the roster can fit in here. How will I decide who makes it into this bunker? Well, I'm not. You are. And actually, you already did. If you're subscribed to this channel, you would know that I've been running YouTube community polls called Smash Debate. Smash Debate. I asked you all a simple question. You can only keep one of these Super Smash Bros. Fighters. The rest are gone forever. Which one do you save? So, who did you all save? Let's find out. Right off the bat, we have a few I decided to just kind of throw in there because I feel like they're kind of the foundation of the roster and they would probably win the voting anyways. They are Mario, Link, Kirby, Samus, and Pikachu. There's a long list of characters that won't even make it to the votes because, let's be real, in a world where the roster will be this size, there are some characters that shouldn't be there. Here's what our bunker is currently going to be looking like, and here is everybody that already got lost in the blast and is going to be fried. But hey, if you can prove why a character like Piranha Plant should be in over Pikachu, then I'll pin your comment. Alright, the first voting round. Who do you save? We have Luigi, Peach/Daisy, Bowser, and Dr. Mario. Made sense to have another Mario character in here because it's kind of Nintendo's golden boy. Dr. Mario was last, only getting 6% of the votes, Peach at 12%, Bowser at 30%, and Luigi with 52%. All these characters have pretty unique playstyles other than Dr. Mario, so I'm kind of okay with any of them getting in. Not happy with this choice? Well, you'll want to keep watching because there's a chance that your picks can still make it in even though they didn't get the most votes. More on that later, but for now... For this one, we have Donkey Kong, Yoshi, Rosalina and Luma, and Wario. Other than Rosalina, they're all Mario adjacent characters but still have their own franchises. Just kind of threw Rosalina in there because I couldn't think of a better one to throw in. Don't even think about it. Don't worry though, Rosalina got last with 7%. Wario also takes up third place with 12%. This in my mind was going to be the closest between Yoshi and Donkey Kong, but Donkey Kong won by a landslide. I mean, I understand there's a lot of DK hype in the Smash scene recently, so there's probably a little bit of recency bias there. Oh, Wario's going to live because his ass is also nuclear and he's just going to be able to eat the blast. That would be an interesting thing to look into. Here are your options. Zelda, Sheik, Young Link, and Ganondorf. Yes, I know I didn't include Toon Link in here, but let's be real, he stood no chance. Wind Waker is my favorite game of all time, and even I'm not a delusional tinkhead. And yes, I know Zelda and Sheik are technically the same person, sorry for the 25-year-old spoiler, but they do have separate character slots in this game. Ocarina of Time came out in 1998. Holy sh**. But it doesn't even matter because even with both of their votes combined, Ganondorf won by a mile. It's kind of crazy that everyone wanted to keep the overall lowest rated character across the entire Smash franchise in the game. But hey, I can't be mad. With Bowser being eliminated, it's good to have some more heavies and villains in here. Young Link is going to do some Majora's Mask and go back in time and prevent the nuke from ever being launched. Well, we're not in that timeline. Only makes sense to have another Pokemon in here because it's one of the big three Nintendo franchises and Pokemon prints money for them. It was difficult to narrow it down to 4 options with there being so many Pokemon in the game, but these are ultimately the ones that I decided made the most sense being in Smash today. Pokemon Trainer, Lucario, Greninja, and Incineroar. Let's be real, Puff players, this really doesn't make any sense. Into the blast zone you go. Not much of a surprise to me though was how much of a landslide the Pokemon Trainer won by here. They are one of the more unique characters, and you get 3 in 1, so come on. And no, the Pokemon Trainer can't just put the other Pokemon into a Pokeball and take them inside with him while they're still in the Pokeball. I mean, he could, but I said no. Round 5, we've got all the classics. Mega Man, Pac-Man, Sonic, and Duck Hunt. I'm gonna keep this one kind of short because it's pretty obvious who won this one. Duck Hunt clearly was the one that got the least amount of votes at 8%. Sonic had the most at 54%. The only real surprise to me here was I know a lot of people complain about how unbalanced Sonic is in the current meta for Ultimate, but some comments kind of clear up why they still chose him, and I agree, he does make the most sense out of everybody here. That timer is getting pretty low. Gonna have to say goodbye to most of these guys pretty soon. I kind of wish this one would come true with how many sword fighters we have in the game. I'm talking about the Fire Emblem. There's too many of them. Marth and Lucina, Roy and Chrom, Robin, and Corrin. Technically a full round of duos because there are a couple of Echo Fighters in there. But it was very clear that Marth and Lucina were going to win this one. I didn't really think there was going to be a competition there. But they only get 1 character slot. 1. That's the rule. I will be taking no further questions. Round 7 is all of the second stringers. You may have noticed that all the other big franchises have each gotten 2 characters in, but between these other big 2, only one of them are going to get to have a duo. Zero Suit Samus, Meta Knight, Ridley, and King DDD. I had a lot of faith here that you guys would collectively make the smart decision, but you, horny mother... I should have known. I shouldn't have even given you the option. I get it, it's a cool character, but we all know the real reason that you made this choice. You're in the hot seat, and I'm going to need a good explanation from all of you, other than just their sex appeal, why you chose King DDD. 47% of you. Y'all gotta have some self-control. Shame on you. But really, Sakurai would probably approve of this choice too. Kirby is his child. Literally. Sakurai gave birth to Kirby, if you didn't know. Like, it wasn't a game, it was based on a real creature with no bones or anything and just cartilage and skin, and he birthed him. Here's a list of characters that most of you probably didn't even know anything about before they were in Smash. These are characters that kind of had to be custom made in terms of movesets because they weren't really seen walking on the ground enough to be given a moveset with any references from their games. Fox, Captain Falcon, Ice Climbers, Pit/Dark Pit. Captain Falcon got so many votes. Like, this guy received more votes overall than any other character did here. I didn't even realize everyone liked him that much. Mr. Game & Watch, Rob, Banjo and Kazooie, and Little Mac. This was another one that surprisingly wasn't a close race at all. This character received hundreds of more votes than any other character in this poll, but it makes sense. The people that main this character are borderline obsessed with them and couldn't stand to watch them go up in flames. Like, really, in a world where we can only have 20 of all of these, you chose Mr. Game & Watch to be one of them. Other characters that nobody really expected to make their way over to Smash. Ryu/Ken, Snake, Kazuya, and Terry. I'm getting the understanding that there might be a lot of brawl enjoyers in this community because Snake absolutely destroyed everyone with 57%. Ryu being next up with 21. I'm just glad Terry didn't win, he just bothers me. Let's do a quick roster check to see what we're currently working with. Here are all the characters that you've chosen to live, and here are all the characters that you chose to die and never return. It's a cruel hypothetical world we live in, and you need to live with the fact that you're sending all of these people to their death. All their bones and flesh will become nothing and evaporate into the nuclear sky, becoming nothing but a gust of radiation wind or whatever the fuck. We've already knocked off a lot of characters off of the list here, but what if I told you some of them could make a comeback? You'll only have to wait a little longer to find out what I'm talking about. Shulk, Cloud, Pyramithra, Sephiroth. But you f***ers seem to love Cloud because that dude just destroyed everybody. It was a close race for second though with Pyramithra and Sephiroth, but eventually Pyramithra won at 20% I think, and Sephiroth was a little lower. I'm not super mad about this pick, like realistically I could go without any of these characters because I don't really care. The New Age, +1. Would have just been called the New Age, but Olimar is in here. He's not exactly new. I think Pikmin 1 came out in like 2001? 2002? 2000. I'm gonna say 2001. but he's a solo character from another popular franchise like all of these other ones, Bayonetta, Inkling, and Min Min. Not much surprise here, the Squid Heads came out in full force and dominated this category. The Splatoon fanbase seems to be pretty hardcore, but I don't really know much about it. I just know there's a lot of people out there in my comments that use custom Splatoon characters as their profile pictures. Much like this person who you probably randomly see in the comments of a whole bunch of videos, and you probably see them in this one too. Also, Min Min was in last place. Not much surprise there, I don't see a bunch of ARMS profile pictures out there. Earth Crossing. I thought it made sense for only one of them to remain. From a size and weight perspective, they're all pretty similar, and, you know, Isabelle's a clone to Villager, Lucas is a clone to Ness. Ness won by a long shot, and at the time of recording this, there's actually a 3-way tie between the other three, but it's probably changed by now. No doubt that Ness is a fan favorite in Smash, though he probably could have won in a lot of these rounds. It's DLC characters from other franchises that should at least be given a chance to stay. Joker, Hero, Steve, Sora. Now here's where things get very interesting. People were begging and pleading to get this character into the game, so it only makes sense that after all that vouching they would actually make it in. Sora only received 13% of the votes. What's even crazier is about after all that complaining about Steve being unbalanced and broken and should be banned, and then he gets banned in some places and then he's unbanned in other places, he still made it in. Some comments on this poll actually kind of clear up some of the reasoning, so I understand why that choice was made, and I can kind of agree with some of them. If you've been keeping track, you would know that this only makes up 19 out of the 20 that the bunker capacity has in it. Well, after all these polls were done, I asked you all a question. Should there be a second chance ballot for the highest voted characters that didn't make it through? And obviously all of you wanted to see this happen. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the 16 highest voted characters that didn't win their polls and put them through a single elimination 16 player bracket. And those polls will still be voted by you. Seeding will be based off total number of votes received, not by percentage. So because each poll had a different number of total votes, some groups don't have any characters in the top 16 and some have multiple. Here's how each poll will be seeded. So let's start off with Pool A. Who will be the lucky one character to get a second chance? We got seed number 1, Meta Knight. Seed number 8, Banjo and Kazooie. Seed number 9, Fox. Seed number 16, Bayonetta. Most of the top tiers from past Smash games and Banjo. This was the closest race we had by far between two of them. Based on seeding, Meta Knight should have won by a mile, but he didn't. Fox pulled off the upset and gave himself a chance for that last spot in the bunker. And these other characters are going back to the blast zone. Pool B, seed number 2, Bowser. Seed number 7, Ryu/Ken. Seed number 10, Zelda. Seed number 15, Ridley. This one's kinda obvious, Bowser won by a mile. He was the top seed and even in the original poll received an insane amount of votes, and he only lost to Luigi, which I mean everybody loves Luigi. I was gonna say it makes sense that Zelda barely got any votes because she's historically really bad in Smash, but you all voted Ganon in. There's really no logic to some of these decisions. Pool C. Seed number 3, Little Mac. Seed number 6, Pyramithra. Seed number 11, Roy/Crom. And seed number 14, Sephiroth. This is definitely the weirdest group we had so far. This is the one that I thought would be decided by just a few votes, but it actually wasn't. The bottom seed, 14th ranked Sephiroth, dominated everybody. Guess we have a lot of Final Fantasy fans here. Both of their characters are still alive. For now. Pool D, seed number 4, Joker. Seed number 5, Pac-Man. Seed number 12, Rob. And seed number 13, Olimar. Joker wins again. Pac-Man got kinda close though. I didn't realize how many people like this character. Grand Finals. We've narrowed it down to one group. And with the number 1 seed out of the way, any of these 4 could win. Bowser, Joker, Fox, Sephiroth. Bowser won. It wasn't even close. So yeah, those upsets that they just did earlier didn't mean anything and they're just getting sent to their death anyways. And with that, you have decided the 20 survivors. Here they all are. And just for context, this is everybody that got eliminated and you decided should be blown up. I wonder what the meta of this post-nuclear Smash game is going to look like. And to make sure you don't miss out on the next one, make sure you're subscribed and check out my YouTube community tab. You can be a part of this and change the outcomes of these videos. Leave me some suggestions for what you want to see next, and I'll take all of the best ideas and put them into a new poll, and you will get to vote on what the next video will be. Give me some ideas for things we can do with only one character left standing at the very end of it all. I'm gonna go now because the bomb's about to explode,